beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is Nova Gnome Creations, and I'm Nova, and I'm so happy to see you today. I hope that you and your loved ones are doing well and that you are taking care the best that you can, and that you guys had an awesome weekend. It is Monday, so we are back at the start of the week. I'm feeling like in a pretty good mood today, though, so not having a case of the Mondays for once. Has anyone ever said that? Has anyone ever said, I'm not having a case of the Mondays? I'm feeling pretty excited for the week. Nothing particular going on, nothing like I'm looking forward to. So it's really weird. I don't know why I'm feeling that way, but I guess I'm feeling hopeful or positive for the future. Excited for plans and ideas and things that are going on. But nothing, there's nothing special happening. So hopefully you guys are feeling that way too. And if you're not, I hope that you at least aren't feeling terrible. Maybe, if you are feeling terrible, maybe this video will bring you a little bit of peace and maybe, a little bit of a positive, spin on the week. They say fake it till you make it, and sometimes that's really like the best medicine for feeling in a funk or feeling down. That's kind of what I do most of the time, unless it just gets too much to like be able to. I just try to I just try to be happy anyways. Sometimes you put a little bit of fake it till you make it on, and then before you know it, you're actually making it. So that's my little tidbit for today. Hopefully that helps somebody if you are having a little bit of a hard time and you don't know what to do. Maybe just do your best to smile, do your best to pretend like you feel okay, just to yourself. I'm not saying, go on and plaster it on and, it's not okay to feel upset, because it totally is. But sometimes we feel in a funk for no reason, and putting on that smile, it becomes real. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to you. You can let me know, but it's something that I actually find helps a lot, because I feel like we create our own happiness. And even though things like depression and anxiety and mental health issues, imbalances with chemicals and past traumas and things like that affect us, even though those are not all within our control, to a degree, being happy is a decision that everybody has to make, I feel like. Because if you don't put in an effort to be happy, it's not usually something that is just presented to you. It's not something that just happens, at least not for me. I have to put in an effort to be that way. It's a decision that I have to make. I hope that makes sense. I don't know why I randomly went on that tangent. Anyways, that's not how I wanted to start my video. You guys, I have the attention span of a gnat sometimes. So, if you have not seen my Dollar Tree haul, you may be seeing some Halloween decorations and some fall decorations in the background for the first time. I love them there. I went and found some little command strips at Hobby Lobby. These were only $3.99 for this pack of 3 of these like little ones. They're small and they don't hold a lot of weight, but that's all I need, is just some small ones to hold little decorations, because I've been wanting to utilize the side of this bookshelf this entire time to make myself a little bit of a background, like I do over here. But the issue that I have is nothing wants to stick to these. Like, behind all of this stuff is actually like a bunch of blue residue because of trying to use sticky tack. The stuff that you are like the stuff that teachers stick posters to their classroom walls with. I tried using that to hang up like these little like canvas squares, and these are just like the flat canvases, like the board kind. They're really light. But like nothing will stay up on these bookshelves, and you can't nail into them or anything. I mean, that would just like split the whole thing. They're just particle board. So I was like, I want to do something on these. So I've just been taping stuff to this one now, and I started a little sticker area down there. But I was really excited when I thought of command strips. I don't know why I didn't think of them before. But I am loving having that back there. But speaking of my backdrop, it is not a backdrop, my background. I have been considering very heavily moving my craft area / office, workspace, whatever you want to call this. It's a really big decision though. Okay, so you guys can maybe help me a little bit. You can give me your thoughts on this. Although I know what the like obvious logical decision that a normal person would make is. But here goes. So I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, and the area that I film in, this is actually the dining area. I put quotes around it and say dining area because that's the living room, and then the kitchen is literally right next to me, like 6 inches or maybe a little more than 6 inches to my right. This is like almost more of like a bigger hallway type of area to, there's the bedroom and bathroom over there. That's a closet right there. But then right beyond that is like a teeny tiny little hallway. One way is the bedroom, one way is the bathroom. Trying to give you guys some context. So this is technically a dining area, but it's carpeted. The living room's carpeted, this is carpeted, the hallway's carpeted, the bedroom's carpeted. So it doesn't really feel like a dining room either. Like nobody has carpet in their dining room. But it was like a perfect little place to put our desks. Well, that's what we did when we moved in. So, I've got my desk here, my computer, tower in the middle, and then Caleb's desk over there. Well, over time, this ended up becoming my area, and then he kind of has the whole living room as his area. He got a lot bigger area than me. But what ended up happening was I ended up just taking this whole area. And so, yeah, so this is my area. You guys have seen it in, I did a video where I was like trying to clean up and like reorganize over here before. And I showed it to you guys then. But it's not a big area, and obviously I can't do like a background. I try really hard to do a background anyways. But like the reality is what you're seeing is the entrance to the living room, and it's just a big open void behind me. And then you also see where we hang all of our bags and stuff, and like that spot is not cute, but I live in a small apartment. I have to have like places to stick all that stuff. A lot of that is project bags, of different projects. But there's also like my purse, all of my purses that I have are hanging there, backpacks, totes, things like that. You know, you organize things how you can. So, all of this to say, and to kind of paint an image of the small space that I'm working with, our apartment is like 500 square feet, if that gives you kind of an idea. The living room is definitely the biggest room. Well, we have our bedroom over there, and this has kind of been something hubby and I have talked about a little bit back and forth, is creating a hobby room in the bedroom and taking the bedroom and making it into the living room. And I know that that's really weird and unconventional, but the reason that we think of it this way is we are just us two. We don't have like human children. We have fur babies. And we don't have people over super often. Very, very infrequently do we ever have people over. Typically when we do things, we go to other people's houses. And honestly, even when we do have people over here, it is still just a small apartment. Like, it's not really a place for hosting people anyways. But we were thinking of it kind of like a studio. Like, you know, I've always loved the idea of like an open studio apartment. Like, you know those ones you see in movies that are just like one giant room and it's like a warehouse or something, and they like make it into like their art studio / bedroom / everything is just all in this one big room. I always think that's kind of cool. But obviously we don't have one of those. And I was like, you know, just because conventionally that's the bedroom and conventionally this is the living room doesn't mean we have to do it that way. The living room is the biggest room, so we could definitely move our bed into there and honestly not change too much up about that room. We could honestly still just leave everything else the same other than moving the couch and the chair that would be in the way, and moving them into this area, making it a sitting area for when people come over and they want to, like, you know, play tabletop games or whatever. Even now, we actually have a fold out table that when people come over and they want to build models together or they want to play tabletop games, we pull out the fold out table and everybody sits like on the couch or whatever. So it would be the same exact setup. It would just be in this little area as a sitting area. That would be the bedroom. Obviously people would be walking through our bedroom, and that's the part that's kind of like a little, but we, like, literally we have people over like a couple times a year. Like, we really don't have people over. We're not, like, we don't host really. And then the bedroom would be the craft room or hobby room. And it would mostly be my stuff for hobbies, because I have a lot more hobby, like crafting and things like that type of stuff. His hobbies are what take up like all of the bookshelves in the living room, like all the display in the living room is like all of his stuff. But we both are really big into hobbies, and I'm really big into crafting, and that's the thing, is I've got a lot of crafting stuff, and I'm like trying my best to keep it not feeling so cluttered, but you know, a little bit of cluttered is fine. I'm okay with like a little bit of artistic clutter, but I'm not okay with it feeling like a hoarding level of clutter. So I'm constantly trying to like organize things and keep things clean and like organized, but it's just not enough space for what I have. Honestly, it's just not. And then hubby wants to, he has like an airbrush and he does painting and all this stuff, and he wants to get a 3D printer. And with a 3D printer, you have to like ventilate it out the window and like set up like a grow tent type of thing, where it keeps the heat in, because you want it has to stay in like a pretty warm temperature range while it's printing for like things to come out right, and all this stuff. So it's gonna be like a pretty significant like setup, and that's like his goal, is like he's been working on getting like the things that he'll need for that, and so the idea was to put that in the corner of our living room, which would already take a lot of repositioning of things. And like we have a big cat. I call it a cat condo, but basically what it is it's a cage that has like 3 different levels to it with like shelves, that the cats, like, I have a bed on one shelf. Basically we use it kind of like a cat tree, but also you can put the cats in there and shut it. It has a door up top and a door down below, if you need to put the cats away, like, I don't know, you're doing something and they need to be put away for it or whatever. But we don't always have that out. We've had it out for like months now, but like it's one of those things that it can be packed up. It actually packs up collapsible, and it can be flat and just slid underneath of the bed or whatever, and you can get it out when you need it type of thing. But we were thinking about, you know, putting that away, turning that corner into his 3D printing area in the living room. It would be in there. But my worry with that is I don't think the cats will leave it alone, especially Yuri. But honestly, both of them, they're both extremely curious and honestly troublemakers. I do not think they would leave it alone. And he's like, well, you know, the tent thing that you set it up to go inside of is pretty sturdy. Like, even if they get on it, it should be fine. I'm like, I think they would continue to mess with it and scratch at it and try to get in it, especially when they know there's something inside of there that they can hear. Like Yuri especially, I'm pretty sure if she hears the 3D printer running in there, she's going to want to get in there. Like, they're going to view it as like their own personal challenge. And then also it's going to be warm, because that's the whole point of it, is to like keep all the heat in, and they love to sit on warm stuff. We already have a problem with them liking to sit on the computer towers and like loaf on the computer towers because they put off heat and, you know, the fan is blowing the heat out. So I personally think that's going to be an issue. And so if we did the hobby room, then he could set his 3D printer station up in there also. So that's something I'm really considering. I'm just nervous about, like, it's such a, I feel like it's such a huge decision to change around all the stuff, because what if I do it and I don't like it? Because we have done it before, like at an old apartment, we did switch things around and have like a hobby room in the living room and the bedroom, and we liked it for like, I don't know, I would say a good 6 months, maybe 9 months, and then we eventually switched it back. But it was a huge ordeal trying to move. We have a king size bed, so like moving the king size bed and the couches and all the stuff, like, because we're gonna literally be swapping every like room's function. Like, this is going to become basically our sitting area / living room. That'll be the bedroom, and then that would be the craft room. The good thing is, like I said, all of the like shelves and all that stuff in there, the TV and all that could literally just stay exactly how it is. The only real difference would be moving the furniture, like the seating, out of there and putting the bed in there. I don't know, I'm so torn. I'm pretty set on the idea. Like, we were talking about it yesterday, and I really do think it'll be nice. But I have things set up how I want them over here, and it took me a long time to get things set up how I wanted them over here. Also, the, like, span of the walls right here are exactly the size that they need to be for both of our desks and my computer tower. They literally fit wall to wall. And then I've been working on getting lots of like floating wall shelves, over time of living here. Like, literally, I've just been like slowly buying more wall shelves for it, to like try to make it, have more shelving and stuff like that and more display space. But I really wish I had a little more display space for things I've made. I would really love to be able to have a shelf that I could put like amigurumi and stuff on. Also, I have more cube storage. I store my yarn in the bedroom in cubes. It's cube storage, but it's one with doors on it, like plastic. It's all made of plastic. And I do that to keep the cats out of it, keep hair, dust, and everything off of it. I have another one that I actually bought last year. Not this previous tax season, but last year's tax season, when we got a little bit back for taxes. We didn't get money back for taxes this year. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway, I bought another one, but we haven't had anywhere to set it up. Like, we need to reconfigure things to like have space for it, but it would give me more yarn storage. And then also, I wanted to use it as clothing storage too, because our current situation for clothing storage is not very ideal. It's a whole thing. It's a complicated whole thing, you guys. Anyway, let me know your opinions. I tried to like paint the whole image for you guys so that you could have an idea of what I'm talking about. But all of that to say, my background might be changing if we do decide to go through with swapping everything around. We will be doing it next weekend. So my background might be changing. And honestly, it may not even be as much of a choice as I'm like painting it to be in my head. The more I think about him he's very set on getting that 3D printer. He's been like planning and getting like little things that he'll need for his setup and stuff over time. So, and like he's really hoping to get the 3D printer sometime soon. So it might not be as much of an option as I'm thinking, because I just really don't think that 3D printer is going to work in the living room. In the bedroom, well, it would be the hobby room. We can shut the door, is the thing. So they can come in when, they're being good, but if they're trying to get into stuff, or in the middle of the night when we're sleeping and we can't watch them, I don't got to worry about them getting into the 3D printer and hurting themselves. So that's that. So that's one thing that I've got going on. I'm also having some coffee, iced coffee. I cannot remember if I told you guys about this, but my current obsession is I found this cold brew concentrate at Walmart. It's Great Value brand, and it's like on the shelves. That's like the section you can find it in is like the coffee, like coffee grounds and all that stuff type of area, which I did not realize, because I order Sorry for that weird face I just made. I was trying to move my glasses with my face while talking. Usually I order my groceries, and so I actually like went in and was like trying to get this coffee after I had it the first time because I really liked it, and then I ran out of it and I needed more. And I expected it to be in the fridge section. I don't know why. I like just forgot that it wasn't cold when I got it, I guess. And so I was like looking in the totally wrong places for it, and then I looked it up in the app and I was like, it's in an aisle. So it was in the like coffee grounds and stuff aisle, but it's just like a little bottle, like maybe like this big, and it is cold brew concentrate. So it's like concentrated cold brew. A lot of times cold brew comes as a concentrate, or you can make it yourself as a concentrate, which I have done that before too, by the way, and that totally works. But you make it or you buy it as a concentrate, and then you dilute it with either water, or you could dilute it with milk or whatever, like whatever your preference is. And then you can add like your cream or your sugar or whatever you like to it. I like to do flavored creamer. But the cool thing about it is that I like a strong flavored coffee. But I also like to do flavored creamer. So not all coffee can hold up to the flavored creamer and still have a strong coffee flavor. My favorite is actually espresso. I love espresso flavor, but I don't have an espresso maker. So I want coffee that can rival my creamer and still be really like coffee flavored and creamer flavored, like whatever flavor creamer I'm using. And I know you're probably like, use less creamer. Well, I don't use like a ton of creamer, but I want it to like be creamy and have the flavor. I just want it to also be coffee flavored. So what I do is I can change the ratios and use a little bit more cold brew concentrate, ratio, and then I can get my boom coffee flavor and have my creamer flavor. So that's my current obsession as far as that goes. A pet hair or something just was like I went like that, and it was just like descending slowly in front of me. Anyway, guys, so this is just like a chit chat video, like updating you guys on like my thoughts and what's going on and how the weekend was. And did I even tell you guys about how the weekend was? It was good. So I've been working on fall vibes stuff for making more fall vibes kits, because I don't know if you guys noticed or not. Probably not, unless you've been on my Etsy account, but, or my Etsy page. Better not be on my Etsy account. Why are you hacking in there? But, I sold the 2 fall vibes kits that I had up. So I want to get some more up, because my sister is bound and determined that when she goes in to work with her stuff, because she ordered one of my fall vibes kits, she is bound and determined that when she goes in to work with that stuff, that all of her coworkers are going to want it, and they're going to all be running to my Etsy shop. So I'm like, oh boy, I better get some fall vibe kits in there. So I've been working on that. And I have something pretty cool to show you guys with that, but I will save that for later in the week, because I don't want this video to literally be like a bajillion years long. This is kind of chit-chatty video, vloggy video, but I will definitely be showing you guys something pretty cool as far as fall vibe stuff goes later this week. I also am working on a commission for, you guys know the tiny ghost keychain that I made. You guys remember last year I did the little mini ghost tutorial. Well, if you didn't see it, like last week or so, I showed you guys that I made a little, with that mini ghost, I made it into a keychain. And super easy to make it into a keychain. I literally just chained and made like a big loop, and then you just tuck it through, like put it around like your bag handle or whatever, and tuck the ghost through, and it just creates a loop around it, and keychain. I will pop a picture up right here if I remember to during editing. Sometimes I forget, so I'll try to remember, but it'll be here if I remember. But if you are curious about it and you didn't see that video, just go back and watch that video. I go into a lot more detail. It's like fall vibes. It's called Fall Vibes or something like that, and it was like last week. But anyway, I got orders for some of those, but I also got an order through my Facebook page from somebody that I went to school with, and she wants 10 of them. So I'm assuming she's like either handing them out to like coworkers or family or something for Halloween. Thankfully I've got a little bit of time to work on that. They work up quick, but you know, I would have had to have really like stopped and focused and only made those for a little bit while I did it. But she doesn't need them until like later this month, you know, by October. So I'm like, I'm not gonna like, you know, make it take that whole time. I'll probably have them all done by the end of this week. But it means I don't gotta like freak out about it. I can like get them done, you know, at a reasonable pace, while working on some other stuff too. But yeah, so I was like really excited about that. I couldn't believe that people were like, wanting to buy my crochet stuff. I just I don't have very good luck with people actually buying crochet stuff. Usually people talk about wanting to buy stuff and then I put it in my shop and it just sits there and nobody buys it. And I recently had an experience in person, and I'm not going to go into details with this at all because I don't want to, it's a family member and it's just not something I should go into details with. But I did recently have my first experience with selling something crocheted and having it be massively undervalued, despite like explaining the cost of materials and stuff. So that was really stressful to me. I am definitely going forward going to do commissions differently. I didn't expect it to happen with this person. Like if it had been somebody I didn't know, one second, I would have done things differently, but I really didn't expect it to happen, to go down that way. And so, yeah, that was really stressful. Like I said, not going to go into details on that, but, my experience with like selling crochet stuff has just not been that great. And honestly, doing commissions in general stresses me out. So I really prefer to make things and then list them, or if I would actually ever go and do an in-person like selling stuff at something, do it that way. That way I can choose what I make and I can make it in my own time. There's just a layer to it about doing commissions that makes it really stressful to me. I feel like when people do a commission, they feel very in charge of it and like they want to, I don't know, it feels like someone's kind of lording over you. And I know that that's not necessarily the case for everybody, but I just don't like that feeling. Like in general, I don't like that feeling of somebody lording over me for anything. And so I just really don't like the feeling that I get for those. And then the other issue is nobody ever wants to pay what crochet is worth. They want to pay like Temu and Shein and Wish and stuff like that prices. And they aren't, I don't even know if it's so much that they don't understand the amount of time that goes into it, but I don't know. They're just not willing to pay it. Like they just don't value it. You know what I mean? I'm sure that any of you guys that have tried to sell things can relate to that, because I've heard a lot about it through other people in the community, and like I'm actually pretty new as far as getting those experiences is. But it really bugs me. Cause like, I feel like you can explain the cost of yarn and the cost of, you know, materials and the amount of time that goes into it, and they still are just kind of like expecting that it shouldn't cost them like anything. You know what I mean? Very stressful. I hate that. So anyway, I prefer to gift things, or if I'm gonna sell things, make them in my own time and get to choose what I'm making, and I feel like I get to have more creativity with it. If I feel like I'm like in a commission, I don't usually feel like I get to have that creativity. Now I say that, but like sometimes you do. Like when I made that cardinal for Jessie, whatever. Hi. I felt like that was like the perfect type of commission experience where she told me what she wanted. She kind of gave me ideas of like details, like she wanted it made with plushy yarn and stuff like that. but then she just kind of let me go at it and didn't like lord over the process, and I just came up with it and did it, on my own. And then I showed it to her and she was happy with it, and then she bought it. And like, that's like, if every experience went like that, commissions wouldn't be so scary, but they don't go like that. And I feel also just really uncomfortable trying to negotiate prices. It's not something I'm comfortable with doing. I've never been comfortable with doing that. I am not the person that's gonna like haggle. I want a good deal, but I'm not gonna haggle. Like, I feel so uncomfortable doing that, and I feel uncomfortable doing it from the perspective of the seller also. Like, I just want you to pay a reasonable amount and be okay with that, or don't commission me. Anyway. So, been working on fall stuff. I did a lot of that over the weekend. Hubby played Starfield, if you guys have heard of that game. It's a new Bethesda game. And then he also played some 7 Days to Die with his friends. I was really hyper-focusing on crocheting this weekend, so I was just crocheting pretty much the whole time. And I didn't really feel like playing. They wanted me to play 7 Days to Die with them, but I didn't feel like it. Yeah, so that's how my weekend went. It was actually a really good weekend. Oh, and I went to a thrift store and I got some stuff for the clay houses that we made last week. I will have to show you guys that stuff. And I also made a Joann's order and picked up a couple little things when we were out. I wanted to have like a little bit of like time out, getting to do stuff, doing like a little bit of shopping. So I was so happy to finally get to do that. It's been ages. So I did go to some different places, and I will definitely be doing some like little hauls. I got from Joann some yarn, of course, and I also got some fleece blanket stuff, which, by the way, I don't know if it's still on sale. I want to say it is, but I don't know. They were running sales like 40% off of like their fleece material, that the kind that you use for doing the tie side blankets, where you put the two layers together and you do like the little cuts and then you tie them together. Those were like 40% off. Well, me and my sister and my little brother, maybe, I'm not sure. I thought he was doing it, but now I'm not sure if he's doing it. We're talking about doing like a video chat and doing like a Halloween like crafting night, putting on Halloween movies and doing these tie blankets together, getting some like material that, is like spooky vibes or whatever, and doing these tie blankets together. Well, they were going to do tie blankets, and I was like, I've actually been wanting to try doing a fleece blanket with crocheted edges, so this would be a good opportunity for that. So I picked out some materials and finally found the rotary cutter that you need to be able to roll down the material, and the specific blade that you need that isn't just going to cut it. It's not just like a solid like razor in a circle. It's like got gaps in between it, so when you roll it, it makes holes, and then you can crochet into the holes. I've been wanting to get one of those because there's several things I've done that I think it would have made the process easier to have one of those. And I think even with the fleece blanket, you could probably do it without it. You could probably, if you're using like a fine pointed crochet hook that's smaller, you could probably stab through the fleece and do it that way, which is what I've been doing for like towel toppers, or like with the sewing the bra pads into that crop top. I like made my holes by putting needles in and going up in size to make the hole bigger and bigger. But I think with something as big as a project as a blanket, having that rotary cutter is going to make a huge difference. I was like honestly not willing to do it without one. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. So I'll definitely be doing some hauls for you guys this week probably. That order should get here later this week, so excited. And I got some stuff from a company to do like a little unboxing. Not a whole lot, just like a little bit of diamond painting stuff. So I'll be doing that this week too. Oh, and I got like a whole bunch of ideas for tutorials. I have literally, I'm not going to show you guys for very long. Well, for one, these are all notes with different crochet stuff on them. I do notes for myself for the channel, notes for things that I need to remember. I do notes for everything. But anyway, this whole side right here, don't look at it too long, is all video ideas and tutorial ideas. So, I don't know. I might have too many things for this week, but you know what? We'll see. But anyways, guys, I thought I would pop on here and just do a little vlog style video and chit chat with you guys. Hopefully you've been hanging out and maybe having a crochet project or doing something to keep your hands busy, just listening. Hopefully I didn't talk your ear off, but I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit and touch base, let you guys know what's going on in the Nova Gnome world over here. But the background might be changing after this week. There's a pretty good chance. If you have any like advice or opinions or anything, feel free to drop them below in the comment section. And if you're working on something, let me know what you're working on. And if you had a good weekend, let me know what you did this weekend. You know, whatever you guys want to say down there. And in relation to comments, I don't always reply back. I do try to make a point of hearting your comment when I've read it, but okay, so this is what I do. I have a really bad habit of doing this. I read through the comments a lot of times as they come in, or like at the end of the day or something, I'll go through and read them. But if I don't like your comment, a lot of times it's because I feel like it needs a response. I'm really bad for like, I want to respond to every single comment, but like I literally would just take all my time all the time. I would never crochet. I would just respond to comments if I did that. So what I'll do is I'll read through them. If I feel like it's something that doesn't necessarily need a response, I'll just heart it and like, you know, be like, whatever, like smile to myself and move along. If I think it needs a response, or like, I feel like you put so much effort into the comment, and even though it doesn't need a response, I feel like I need to reply to it. Sometimes I won't heart it, and I won't heart it if I don't have time to comment right now. And the reason I do that is so that I know that I wanted to go comment, or wanted to go reply back to that comment. The problem with this is I get behind on comments sometimes, and I end up with a lot of comments that I do that with, and I've already read them. Sometimes I've read them multiple times, but I don't either I don't have time to comment at the moment, or I'm in the middle of doing other things and I'm just kind of like reading them while I'm doing it, like while I'm crocheting or whatever. And I mean to go back to it and reply, and I don't. So if you comment and I don't like reply or heart it or anything, that doesn't mean I didn't read it. I read all of my comments. Sometimes I just have the attention span of a gnat and I forget to go back and do anything with it. But I really appreciate your guys' comments. Especially like, if you put a lot of effort into a comment, please know that like, I smile so big when I read those comments, and like, I love it, like seeing, I don't know. Here's the thing, you don't gotta make a big comment. That's not what I'm saying at all. You don't gotta like write a paragraph, but when somebody sits there and responds to like every part of the video, I'm like, aw, it's so cute and so sweet. You know, like, I do that too when I watch videos sometimes, but like when I can tell that you're like pausing and going and writing in the comment and then watching and then pausing and then going and writing in the comment. That's so cute. And I love it when you guys do that. So if I don't reply, please know that I still do appreciate your comments and I still do love them. And they do make me happy, and I see you. I know you're there. I just suck. Anyways, guys, I think I've definitely talked way too much. But I hope everybody had an awesome weekend, and I hope everybody has a great week. We're going into this week with a positive outlook this time, guys. We're gonna have a good week. We're gonna manifest it. Having a great week. Let's say it. We're having a great week this week, guys. I hope everybody is doing awesome today, and I will see you guys again real soon. Bye, guys!